command, Megatron.
Subscribe for Magic the Gathering and other content for evil fun.
Fear not, Megatron. Cybertron shall remain as you leave it.
Claim full 6 games.
Good morning. Good morning. I want to say good morning to you. Good morning to you. It's like brunch time, really. It's like 11 o'clock where I'm at. But I have a late startup because I wake up, have to have my coffee, my morning coffee. Like here. Just enjoy the day, right? Then I got to spring myself up, get an idea, and boom, morning coffee. I figured I'd start kind of seeding in morning coffee episodes in the morning because it's good to vitalize and think of things and get your brain motivated. And hello, Johnny. Johnny Zert. Good morning to you. Yeah. So I have an authority that eventually I'll be able to get the Enduring Enchantments deck. I'm sitting in Central Time Zone as well. Nice. It's awesome. It means we're not so far apart. The world is smaller. I don't know what that was. You know, is it like a power grab? Something weird? I don't know. So, if I was to get the Enchantments deck, the Enduring Enchantments deck, and I know there's a chance I'll be getting it in the future, I think this deck is being harped on too much for being weird, right? Like I was looking at the top listings, which decks are rated the most compared to decks. They'll draw these decks like number 1, Slivers number 2, Planeswalker Party number 3, and somehow Enchantments deck is just at the bottom. Which is fine because the Eldrazi deck looks pretty fun as it is, right? Pretty fun. Let me turn this back around so this light can hit my face. So I was thinking the Enchantments deck. What are people missing with the Enchantments deck? Because I think the Enchantments deck, when you look at the list, is pretty good. Now, financial aside, like not thinking of the money it's going to cost to get this deck, because we don't know what the cost of the newer cards are going to be. Really, there's speculation. You know, we don't know how powerful or how much they're going to affect the format. You know, but still, we're going to have this commander deck available to us. And that's important. That is important, is that we're going to have this available. Now, let me share something with you really quick. Share screen. Let's go share the screen instead. So the most important thing is Anixia, Hand of Erebos, is the commander of the deck. She costs 2 generic, white, black, and green. She's a legendary enchantment creature demigod. She's a 4/4. She has menace. Other enchantment creatures control have a menace. Whenever Anixia enters the battlefield or attacks, exile up to 1 target non-or enchantment card from your graveyard. Create a token that's a copy of that card, except it's the 3/3 black zombie creature in addition to its other types. This planeswalker, this enchantment creature is fairly alright. Really good. Yeah, Sterling Grove would be useful in this deck for sure. You had my beautiful face. But one thing I want to get at is this commander is unique that we're getting. And I think it's actually kind of important that we're getting this commander because there's a lot of enchantments that people are overlooking that these 3 colors bring to the table. I mean, you know, it's an enchantment that people like to play to win games. or enchantment combo, I should say, is Sanguine Bond. The Sanguine Bond and it's Sanguine Bond and Extinguish. No, Sanguine Bond and the Blood combo. The two enchantments that basically all win the game when you play the both of them. Exquisite Blood, Sanguine Bond and Exquisite Blood combo fit in this deck colors. See, prior to this, Sanguination is pretty good. Prior to this, we really didn't have an enchantment commander that benefited from that. You know, we didn't have the colors for it. We didn't have a themed commander for an enchantment deck in these colors. Now, Bant is my favorite color. Bant has always been one of my favorite colors. Let's see. Let me get here. Let me get out of there. Switching that. Let's get to Ayada. Images. Boom, right here. Astrid the Mask. Now, I have her as a commander of one of my decks because I love enchantments. And she is definitely a strong enchantment deck or enchantment commander. She's a planeswalker. She untaps each enchanted permanent control. Create a right aura enchantment creature token named Masked, which gives a creature totem armor. Then she has a replenish ultimate, which is solid, and she can be a commander. I think that's pretty saucy. Right? Pretty strong for a enchantment deck. Probably a little better designed than the Abzan deck. Because she doesn't care about enchantments in the graveyard until you get to her ultimate. And she gives you an idea of how you want to play your deck. Like you use those aura enchantments that enchant your lands for mana so you can get more value out of it. Well, here's my thought. Like I said, I have authority that I'm going to be getting this deck. And here is oh hello. When I get this deck, since I have a copy of her, I'm thinking about running this as the commander. Because Atraxa is amazing. Atraxa is awesome. It's both Bant, it's both Abzan, it's all four colors. Because Bant and Abzan share green-white as the colors, and all you're doing is mixing with blue and black. And what this does for enchantments, because enchantments care about two things in general when you're playing a basic enchantment deck. Like my Bant enchantment decks focus on tokens, but Atraxa focuses on +1 counters and poison counters, and Abzan, the new deck, focuses on tokens, right? So you get two token strategies, Abzan tokens, Bant tokens, right? And they both focus on using enchantments to make these said tokens. And not all the tokens are super amazing. So I think a lot of these this enchantment theme is going to want to focus on generating tokens. Like good tokens for this deck. Good token strategies for this deck will be buffed up. So if you're running Abzan tokens, but you have a splash of blue, you can run Broker's Ascendancy to buff up the team and Planeswalkers. You know, At the beginning of your end step, put a +1 counter on each creature you control and a loyalty counter on each planeswalker you control. I think there's untapped potential. Now, going back to during enchantments, we go back to during enchantments. I look at Anixia, and I'm like, I think there's a missed opportunity of coloring here. Like the Planeswalker party got all 5 colors, the Slither deck got all 5 colors. Why couldn't the enchantment deck be all 5 colors? Right? Or maybe I'm wrong. Maybe the enchantment party deck was just let me see. Where is it? That's the wrong one. I'm looking at the wrong thing. All right, hold on a second. I'm trying to look for. All right, so I was wrong. It's not all 5 colors of Planeswalker Party. It is a Jeskai. See, I had a feeling it wasn't all 5 colors, but I had to correct myself. But it is blue, white, red. But why couldn't all these decks been all 5 colors? Planeswalker Party could have definitely benefited from being all 5 colors. No. Ooh. So that the commander deck. This commander deck could have been 4 colors at least. Because it would have added more flavor to it. But now we get 2 commanders that are unique, and they're both pretty good. I mean, I don't know if it's Narky or Narcy, and I'm going to say Narcy because it sounds more like a name than Narky. Narcy, Fabled Singer, costs 4 mana for a 3/3 legendary creature, human druid, which she's not an enchantment, which is kind of sad. Her first 2 abilities are solid. Lifelink, whenever you sacrifice an enchantment, draw a card. I like that ability. Then this ability, when a final chapter of ability of a saga you control resolves, each opponent loses X life, and you gain X life, where X is the number of Saga's mana value. That's fine. I think it put the focus on Tom Bombadil, this deck idea of caring about sagas. I don't think this deck really needed a saga theme. I just think Wizards is pushing a saga theme for God knows why. Prime. So I explained to you I cannot play video games during the day. Let me explain this to you. Why am I not seeing that? Look, here's why I can't play video games during the day. My ears are muffed like this, and I talk extremely loud when my ears are covered. And I get really boisterous. That wakes up people. So that's why I can't play video games like that during the day, especially when I get so emotionally involved in the game and I have to shout out where the neighbors probably can hear me from across the houses, like from one house to another, That's why. But welcome, Prime. Oh, 5 color Progenitus is where it's at. But there's another 5 color commander that'd be good for this kind of deck, especially if you're running a Reanimator theme. And I just happen to have a copy of it right here. Like if I want 5 colors with this deck and got the Reanimator theme for enchantments. Not turtle indeed, Dennis. Nice. You can't really get a good glimpse of it, but it's Child of Allura. Child of the Lore is another good option. Progenitus is a good option. Child of the Lore is a good option. If you really want it. Because, like, if you want to push this to a 5-color enchantment deck, which is really good, because you know what are also good in enchantment decks? Or good in red decks? Enchantments like Fervor, Hammer of Perforos. Cards that give your creature haste that are enchantments. Those are solid in a 5-color enchantment deck. See, we need a 5-color enchantment lord. But, like I was talking about before, yeah. Like I was talking about before, is I think the missed opportunity people are ignoring for this enchantment deck coming out is the fact that it offers an optional color choice for enchantments where enchantments are strong in. Like, let me back out of here. Let's see. MTG. Okay, let's look at the 6. So we got Perforos, God of the Dead, which could be used as an enchantment right here. I'm just looking at some random deck for ideas. So we got Wounded Reflection, which is pretty solid, which says, let me click on that. Oh, that's bad. All right, Wounded Reflection, 6-mana enchantment. Whenever an opponent loses life, they lose that much life. They lose that much life at the end of turn. So if opponent lost 10 life a turn, at the end of turn they lose 10 extra life. You got the Abyss. You got Tainted Aether. And there's a lot of old school cards in here. Got the Single Bond combo, Polluted Bonds, Phyrexian Arena, Pestilence, Palace Siege, Painful Quandary, No Mercy, Nether Void, Necropotence, Exquisite Blood, the part of that combo. You know, things that make black good. You know, oh, snaps. I didn't show the screen. Foil Replenish Sparkle's nice. That's my favorite reserve list cards to replenish. I own one copy of that card actually. I traded it for an Ugin when they were when Ugin was the same price as replenish. I just traded straight forward with a friend. Long run, I made out. Not intentionally though. Star Baby goes boom is less good for planeswalkers, as if its death is penalty much more of a butter right. You're right. I get what you're saying. Like, but it's still a good option. Progenitus is pretty solid though, but that Star Baby is a good option because you're board wiping everything with it when it dies. But enchantments, like especially for like running a Voltron build, you can run from the vault to get all your enchantments back, or you can run Retether to get all your ores back. You know, give take. You got Calyx Destiny's Hand. Yeah, like this deck has some solid includes. Now the only issue is like a lot of cards in this deck are not super valuable, right? When it comes to price of the card, but like let's look at some of these cards, right? Let me show you Calyx first. There's Planeswalkers. Got Calyx Destiny's Hand. I don't know why you're not showing me. Yeah. Doesn't want to show Calyx Destiny's Hand. So Calyx Destiny's Hand is that's so weird. All right. Let me look up Calyx Destiny's Hand because I want to. want to explain to you why this guy is good. Now, he's not the best at all, but he's pretty solid. All right. All right, here's Calyx Destiny hand. 4 mana, 4 loyalty, Planeswalker Calyx. You look at the top, you use +1s, look at the top 4 cards of your library, may reveal an enchantment card from among them and put that card in your hand and put the rest in the bottom of your library. Basic search, right? Pretty decent. Like he lets you dig. 4 mana, that's fitting. 15. -3, exile target creature or enchantment card you don't control until the target enchantment you control leaves the battlefield. So basically, if you have an enchantment, you -3 them, choose that enchantment, exile a creature, and that creature stays exiled until said enchantment's gone. Then as -7, return all enchantment cards from your graveyard to the battlefield, which is a replenish effect, which is solid. This card is pretty decent. Pretty beast. Yeah. Yeah, indeed a favor of mine. I bet that replenish sounds pretty cosmic. Will not lie. Will not deny. Yeah. Some solid includes. All right. Let's go back here. So in here you get the Soul Ring. You get Rampant Growth. I wish it was that version, but it's not. You got Kadama's Reach. You got Mirai's Wake, which is a solid include. Enchantress's Presence. You got Abundance, which is really good. Really good. If you would draw a card, you may instead choose land or non-land and reveal cards from the top of your library to reveal a card of the chosen kind. Put that card in your hand and put all others revealed this way into the bottom of your library. Abundance is solid. You come with Farseek, Path to Exile, Sigil the Empty Throne, which is a solid 50-cent card. Like, people underestimate this card because it's enchantment. Like, enchantment removal can be destroyed, destroy it with enchantment removal. But every time you play even a 1 mana enchantment, you remove, you make a 4/4 angel. Yeah, Colony Heart Expedition, which is a weird choice. Colony Heart Expedition is a weird choice for this deck. Like, I wouldn't run it in this deck. I'd just put in something else. But it's an enchantment, so that 2 mana enchantment will trigger Sigil the Empty Throne to make a 4/4 angel. Extinguish All Hope is all pretty solid. Font of Fertility. Yeah, Starfield Nyx is at the beginning of your upkeep. You may return target enchantment card from your graveyard to the battlefield. I mean, what's bad with that? As long as you control 5 or more enchantments, each other non-or enchantment you control is a creature in addition to the other types and has base power, base toughness, each equal to the converted mana cost. Pretty solid. You know what I'm saying? Where was I? So we got Grasp of Fate, which is a good reprint that we needed. Cast Out, which is fine. I like it. It's this all-ring effect. Sandworm Convergence, not horrible. Like I said, token strategies. The Eldritch Reborn, I'm not a big fan of the sagas, but if one said sagas are good, maybe I'll keep them in. Mending of Dominaria, Dreadhorde General, Arcane Signet. Oh man, I hate. Earlier these just floated aside, but now they're stuck to the top. So you got Omen of the Hunt, Binding of the Titans. What does that card do? No, it's. I was looking at it. It's just a saga. Cunning Rhetoric. Cunning Rhetoric enchantment. Whenever an opponent attacks you or one of more planeswalkers you control, exile the top card of that player's library. You may play that card as long as it remains exiled. You may spend mana as though it were mana of the color of any color and cast it. It's pretty solid. Not super amazing, but it's pretty solid. What's this card? Yeah, Boon of the Spirit Realm. 5-mana enchantment. Whenever Boon of the Spirit Realm or another enchantment enters the battlefield under your control, put a blessing counter on Boon of the Spirit Realm. Creatures in control get +1/+1 for each blessing counter on Boon of the Spirit Realm. Pretty solid. Alright. Now, you get cards like Sis's Harvest Hand. Hold on, we're loading. Well, I guess not. It's not. So we got enough enchantresses in this deck. Sanctum Reaver is pretty solid. Mind Rack Harpy would be an automatic takeout. Nissan Wonder, pretty decent. Destiny Spinner, pretty solid. Dryad of the Elysian Grove, a reprint. That's actually pretty decent. Archon of Sun's Grace, which is another token generator. You see there's a token theme here. Like I was talking about, whenever an opponent casts an instant sorcery spell, create a 1/2 green spider creature token with reach. Ooh. Abundance is a nice way to get it around Peer into Abyss, drawing half your library part, right? All right. All right, so getting into this deck here, right? There are some obvious includes they should have included. Like they're excluded from the deck, but they should have been in this deck. Like one card that should have been in this deck for sure, since it's these colors and his enchantment, is Privileged Position. Because Privileged Position would have given all other permanents you control hexproof, which you don't have. Hell, you don't even have a asceticism in this deck, which is enchantment gives all your creatures hexproof and the ability to regenerate them. 2 cards that should have been in this deck, meaning I have to fork out the money or the trades to get them, because the only thing I really got is trades. I don't have a lot of money, but luckily the cards ain't super expensive. But 2 includes 2 upgrades now. Well, 1 major upgrade will be Privileged Position for this deck. Since I'm planning running Traxa as this deck's commander, copy enchantment, Estrid's Invocation, 2 good copy enchantment spells. Yeah, maybe even the mirror enchantment copy thing, the mirror that copies an enchantment or artifact. Pretty solid. Pretty solid. Oh man, sorry. That's cat butt right there. I mean, what do you guys think? Ooh. Yeah. I mean, I think, like I said, I think this deck offers an opportunity to run enchantments that you normally wouldn't be able to run in an enchantment deck. Because most enchantment decks are blue-white, green-white, and bent. So having the ability to play black is pretty good. Like I said, the commander could have been designed a little different, but the commander is solid. Gives all your creatures menace, so like I'd run the commander in the 99. Like if I had to choose between this deck, if I had to choose between this Abzan deck and the bad deck that came with Esther the Mask, Esther the Mask had a lot more flavor. It is missing a combo piece of Destiny Spinner, card Presence of the Master. There's a saga. Ooh. Never heard of that. Never heard of that. Let's see. MTG. Whenever a player plays an enchantment spell, counter. You're just trolling me. You're trolling me. Let's see. Let me see. Let me see. Destiny Spinner. Okay. So enchantments you control can't be counted. So okay, that's a decent combo. I thought you were trolling me for sure. Oh man, but I see what you're talking about. I see what you're talking about. It's not that's pretty good when you lock an opponent out of enchantments because enchantments are staples in Commander for sure. I mean, enchantments trigger prowess. They're a non-creature spell. So that's like, man, that's a pretty powerful combo. Like it's very succinct to what it does. Like it is very focused on countering your all enchantment spells. But with those two in the battlefield, the Destiny Spinner being first, the other one being second, the presence of the master, pretty solid combo piece. I like it. Now imagine that with your little token dudes. So I guess, but one thing, like I was saying, a lot of people don't understand is enchantments, like enchantment decks like this are token decks. Oh, another include card that they should have included in this deck, which they didn't. Since it's a token theme, they should have included Hallowed Haunting. The one that creates a 1/1 spirit, star spirit or XX spirit whose power and toughness equal to the number of spirits you control when you cast an enchantment spell. That should have been in this deck too. Should have been. Could have been. Didn't. They didn't do it. They didn't do it. Yeah. Are you guys enjoying this show today? This fun show? Let's see. Well, for those of you hanging this long,
My fellow Decepticons, hit that like button for my sake.
yeah. Thank you for hitting that like button, y'all. You guys are amazing. Amazing. Let's get back to StreamYard. All right, now I need to close some of these windows. Yeah. Sorry. All right, had to close some windows down. So you can see where this benefits from. I mean, you don't like there's good cards that are available for this deck that you need to get for this deck. So you'll be able to tell. You know, once you get this deck, you're going to alter it between the two different commanders. Either you're going to love the Saga way, or you're going to love the Enchantment way. And either way, you're going to be taking cards out. You're going to rip them out and put new cards in. But why Trax is so good for this commander deck is with the Sagas, you can speed up the Sagas to beef up that trigger loss with the secondary commander. Plus, you're running a card like what's it called? Something Tide. I'm trying to think of the name of the card, so I'm trying to look it up. I can't look it up fast enough. Well, you got Flux Channeler. Whenever you cast an instant sorcery spell, you proliferate. But I'm trying to think of another card. Something Tide. There you go. Exonerable Tide. The version of this card is crap, but that's a real card. 5 mana enchantment. Whenever you cast a spell, proliferate. That would be a good deck for, or a good card for the deck if you're going to the Saga route, but it's good for buffing up your abilities and counters, especially with that boom counter. So Proliferate will be pretty amazing for this enchantment deck with the counters and stuff you're using. Yes. So it's going to be a great, fun experience to build around this deck. Like, if you put in the work, your efforts will show. The fruits of your labors will be there. You will benefit greatly. Oh, yeah. You're running enchantments. Board wipes are not off the table. Enchantments are usually not creatures. Board wipes are a good way to control your enchantment theme. You don't believe me? I'm that derp who does. Board wipes. Board wipes. Yep, like take out Arcane Signet and Soul Ring. And there are 2 slots. You know what? That's not a bad idea. Like in my 4 color and higher decks, because I have an Atraxa deck already, and I have a 5 color Dinosaurs deck, and each of those decks do not have a Soul Ring in it. Because if you're running 4 colors, that colorless mana doesn't help you. In fact, the only Soul Ring like effect I run in Atraxa is Temple of False God, and that's because it's a land card and doesn't take up a spell slot. Because you can ramp instead of those, and that's what you want. Ramp. But I like your thought. Your thought is good. Your thought is amazing. You and I, Johnny, we're like this. Well, before I think about closing out the show, does anybody want to hop on and just join and chit chat? Or is it just Johnny and I? Because I know Johnny is just there, just embracing the enchantment deck goodness. Unless you have Starfield and 5 other enchantments, the board wipe can affect you. Yeah. It's about the... Okay, so the way I run board wipes, Johnny, is I run them to keep control of the board. Like, if no one has creatures, I'm good. If I'm not taking damage from a creature, I am good. Like a couple cards, I have to see if I have them. I think I do. But a couple cards I will definitely be putting in this deck is Oblivion Ring and the other Oblivion Ring. I can't think of the name, but they're the same kind of card. I'll be running those as removal in the deck because permanent removal is solid. And if I splash in board wipes to maintain the board till I can get my combo piece or till I can get my win strategy out, then I'm happy because that's how I like to play. I like to protect my investment and keep my investment where it is until I can slam and make a presence. Even if I lose the game, if I get to the point where I can throw in my win condition or my powerhouse and garner over the board the way I can, I will do it. And Prime knows this for sure. One time, I was playing a game with Prime with my Dinosaur deck, and my Dinosaur deck has a lot of asymmetrical board wipes where it just affects my opponent's boards. Because, they cost a lot of mana, but my Dinosaur deck have Joda, who, makes everything cost 1 of each color. Not the Unifier Joda, but the other one where he makes all where you can pay Wooburg to cast a spell instead of its converted mana cost. And one game I just kept blowing up the board with my asymmetrical board wipes where I'm just destroying. Was it asymmetrical? But the ones that destroy all my opponent's stuff, not mine. And I just and I did that until my board got caught up and took over. Because control in a 4-player game, you got to think of all 4 players or all other 3 players at the same time, and board wipes is kind of like the easy route around that. But I understand not all decks win by creatures, but creatures is just a fun way to win. Ooh. Ah ha ha. I mean, do you disagree with my strategy? That'd be fun to know. Like, or do you think Tortoise is an evil player? Ooh. But here's the difference between me and a lot of players. Board a lot of players will run counter spells, which only have one deck that has a lot of counter spells that I really play. I prefer board wipes over counter spells. Counter spells only stop a spell for a turn. Board wipes stop attacks for a turn or two. It's kind of like time walking if you think about it. Except when an opponent has haste engines. But, do what you must. Do what you will. Oh yeah, that's one thing I wanted to bring up, but I just remembered. Let's go back here. We're looking at these spells. There's not a lot of good removal in this deck. Ooh, yeah. So you're going to have to add in the removal you want, which ain't going to be hard. A lot of good removal enchantment decks are commons and uncommons, believe it or not. So sacrifices will be made. All right. Get back to my beautiful face. All right. My deck style is off meta from way out in the left field. That's fine. You know what? That's unique because, like even if you're that person who builds the homebrew deck, the homebrew decks, which is basically most of my decks is homebrew. Trax is the most meta deck I have, but a lot of homebrew decks can show power where people are not expecting it because like here's the thing about it, right? And that's my box, right? This is my box. This is my world. It's shaped around my knowledge of the game, but the knowledge of Commander is there are staple cards people run. People run this type of board wipe. People run this kind of counterspell. People run this kind of creature. People run this enchantment in this color of deck, right? Like people know there's certain cards you should run in certain decks. So for example, a lot of red decks will run Dockside Extortionist because it's a powerful card. But not every deck needs a Dockside Extortionist, so you don't have to run it. But you can run, say you can run some janky goblin deck that no one's built. And then that's not to pick on Prime. But like a janky goblin deck kind of thing and win the game. Or maybe like a backdoor land destruction deck. A deck, like I have a deck that has a combo in it that can destroy lands in a crazy amount. And it's not the purpose of the card, but what I'm talking about is one of my decks, and I think I took out the combo, I could be wrong, is you have Aesthetic Slime, who can destroy an enchantment, artifact, or land when it comes to play, and you have Deadeye Navigator. Put those two together, 2 mana, you can blow up a lot of land. And that's a homebrew combo. Not a lot of people run that combo. Now reverse Voltron. When enchantments attack, they make dragons. That's awesome. I actually like that thought. I like that idea. Especially when, like, if you're someone who has, like, reserve list cards available and ready to them, and you run the enchantment that turns all your creatures into creatures, all your enchantments into creatures, equal to the converted mana cost. I can't remember the name of the card, but that's a good way to win. Especially when, like, because I understand you're saying, like, you run Voltron cards, but all of a sudden, all your enchantments turn into creatures and they attack wide instead of tall. That's pretty solid. Pretty solid. Love it. Love it. I like out of the box thinking. I try to do out of the box thinking, but the play group lately is all about trying to smash hard early game because people want to get to competitive Magic for some reason. Like, it's even hard for me to catch up, and people get mad at me for playing against their own strategy, right? They're like, And they're like, I'm going to hit hard, do this, do that. Now, if I'm living long enough, I'm like, well, I'm going to stop this before that goes crazy because I know you go crazy if you're left unchecked. And I know you go crazy if you get too much control. So these two players need to be checked. Board wipe, board wipe, board wipe. It's insane. It's insane. Board wipes are not the answer to everything, but board wipes do a lot for you. Like, for example, board wipes are very underrated because they're so common. People like, people like these board wipes when they're losing in the creature race. Even if I have creatures, if their creatures look scary or I need to reset the board so I can start my hand up again for my win condition, board wipe. Board wipe just to keep my strategy strong. Yes. I'm funny. I'm funny. All right. Well, everybody, I want to thank you for showing up today. Thank you for communicating. Thank you for liking the video. Thank you for being awesome. Thank you for joining today's morning coffee, talking about enduring enchantments. Excuse me. Enduring enchantments been fun. I'm glad I got to share my thoughts with you. Got to talk to you, Johnny. You're amazing. Got to talk to you, Prime. You're amazing. Talk to everybody. You're all amazing. Thank you for having a good day. Have a wonderful night. And let me tell you.
And you didn't disappoint.